Good morning, I'm Harry Smith. At least 117 in Moscow are dead, but an American who survived the botched hostage rescue is talking for the first time. We'll have that story.
I'm Julie Chen. The sniper suspects are in custody, but threats from al-Qaeda are on the rise. Are Americans safe? We'll ask Homeland Security Chief Tom Ridge.
I'm Renee Seiler. How will the death of Minnesota Senator Paul Wellstone affect the political landscape? CBS News' Bob Schieffer will be here with analysis.
And I'm Hannah Storm. Also today, an exclusive interview with the mother of those teenage boys convicted of murdering their father in Florida. Early this Monday morning, October 28th, 2002.
From CBS News, Harry Smith, Hannah Storm, Julie Chen, and Renee Seiler bring you The Early Show.
Starting up a brand new day.
Live from Trump Plaza in New York City.
Brand new way.
Good morning and welcome to a brand new day and a brand new team on The Early Show here on CBS. We'll tell you a lot more about ourselves and what we're up to in just a couple of minutes. But first, there is breaking news out of Amman, Jordan this morning, where an American diplomat has been shot and killed. We'll have a report from there in just a moment. And as we said, controversy is swirling over Russian security forces' use of debilitating mystery gas during that hostage rescue over the weekend.
That's right, Harry. As we said, at least 117 hostages were killed in the rescue attempt. And for the first time, an American survivor of the crisis has spoken out about what happened. CBS News correspondent Richard Roth is in Moscow with the very latest. Richard, good morning to you.
Good morning, Julie. Among the survivors is a retired piano teacher from Mountain View, California, who worried during the standoff that Chechen rebels would find out she's an American citizen. She was at the theater with her Russian son and didn't want to leave him if foreigners were singled out for release. Carried from the theater after the raid, unconscious, bleeding, and with a collapsed lung, 64-year-old Natalia Aleshnya told CBS News today that when she woke up in this Moscow hospital, she feared she'd been taken to Chechnya. She'd been asleep as troops stormed the theater. Before the noise of gunfire could wake her, gas had already been pumped in.
My son better than I.
Her son's safe now, too, but Aleshnya's still too weak to be moved. Scores of former hostages are still recovering more than 48 hours after Russian troops used the disabling gas to end the theater siege. It subdued the rebels, and hundreds of captives got out alive. But officials now concede it also killed at least 115 hostages. President Putin, though, announcing a new crackdown on terrorism, today said his policy is to reply with measures adequate to the threat wherever terrorists strike. Still, observing a national day of mourning, the Russian government's now facing questions about whether it knew all the risks it was taking in its desperation to end the standoff. And there's sharp criticism that quick medical care might have saved more lives if authorities had disclosed exactly what gas was used. Even now, doctors still haven't been told. Renee, back to you.
All right, CBS's Richard Roth in Moscow, thanks so much. Now to the rest of the day's headlines. An American diplomat was shot and killed this morning in Amman, Jordan. CBS News correspondent Tom Fenton is in Amman with the latest. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Renee. Well, the American diplomat Lawrence Foley was gunned down in front of his home at 7:20 this morning. He was on the way to his automobile, which is a red Mercedes, which had license plates which clearly identify him as an American diplomat. Now, according to the first reports, he was hit by a hail of bullets, and it's not yet clear how many people were involved in the attacks. So far, no organization has claimed responsibility for his assassination. The United States enjoys excellent relations with the king and government of Jordan, but Jordan's population, like that of most Arab countries, is quite hostile to American policy in the Middle East, especially American policy towards Iraq and Israel, Jordan's neighbors. And for some time now, American citizens here have been urged and cautioned to be especially vigilant. Renee?
All right, CBS's Tom Fenton, thanks. Back home, there is reportedly evidence that links serial sniper suspect John Lee Malvo with one of the shootings in Virginia. 17-year-old Malvo was arrested last week in Maryland, along with John Muhammad. Investigators reportedly believe Malvo was the killer in the shooting death of a Virginia woman outside a Home Depot store on October 14th. Virginia prosecutors are expected to file capital murder charges against the suspects today. And in sports, the Anaheim Angels are on cloud nine after beating San Francisco 4-1 in the final game of the World Series last night to win their first ever championship. The Giants have now gone 48 years without winning a World Series. I'm doing sports. That should be Anna. Okay, all right.
Good job, Renee.
How did I do? Good.
Fabulously
All right, now
delivered.
another thing I wanted to do, weather. So here is an early look at what's going on in your area.
A job well done. Good morning, everybody. Tony Williams here on this fine Monday morning here in Southern California. Check it out. Clouds have cleared. The sun is up. The sky is blue. There's a live look at LAX here at 7:05 on this first Monday back on standard time. Got an extra hour's sleep over the weekend. Hope you all enjoyed it. Here's the forecast for you. We've got sunny skies pretty much across the board today. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s this afternoon. Valleys in mid-70s as well. All in all, a fine Monday.
A report issued last week by two former senators warns that America remains dangerously unprepared to deal with another catastrophic terrorist attack on U.S. soil. But just how real is the threat? Homeland Security Director Tom Ridge joins us exclusively from the White House. Governor Ridge, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Harry. Nice to join you this morning.
Are we dangerously unprepared?
Well, I think Senator Hart and Senator Redmond recognize that during the past year, the federal government, state and local governments, citizens and companies have done a great deal to improve their security and become better prepared. But I think the same report recognized that there's still substantial work to be done. We still need to beef up our public health infrastructure. We still need to do a better job of sharing information with local law enforcement. We certainly still need to do a better job of getting money down to first responders so that we can practice and train and exercise. So I think they said we've done a better job the past year, but they pointed the way that we've got a lot more work to do.
Well, these are the same group that came out with a report before 9/11, warning of terrorist activity. They were right on the money this time. If we are dangerously unprepared, whose fault is that?
Well, I think the conclusion that we are dangerously unprepared does not recognize, and I've worked with both these senators, that of the substantial progress that's been made over the past year. I think the notion that we have been idle, that we've literally done nothing since September 11th, and that this country has not responded in a fairly comprehensive way to be better prepared. I think that's substantially different than saying that we still have some additional work to do, and there's where I would disagree with my colleagues.
Do you think the American people understand the ongoing threat?
Harry, I believe that over the past year, one of the major challenges of the Office of Homeland Security and this country itself was to understand our enduring vulnerability. While we have taken extraordinary measures since 9/11, we've adapted a new national threat advisory system, while the federal government and local governments and companies have begun to develop protective measures. I think the notion that we are an open, diverse, and welcoming country that leads us, I think, to the conclusion that we will probably always have some kind of vulnerability is probably one of the hardest elements of this effort to combat terrorism for us to digest. We still are a welcoming, trusting country, and the notion that there would be those out there that try to undermine our way of life and kill our American citizens is pretty difficult for us to accept. But I think during the past year, as we've observed what's gone around the rest of the world, we appreciate now that we still are their primary target. We better positioned to accept that notion, although obviously it's still pretty difficult for us to understand.
Well, this morning we have a diplomat gunned down in Oman. There was the terrorist attack in Bali, one in the Philippines, U.S. soldiers shot in Kuwait, a French oil tanker attack. The CIA director, George Tenet, said last week that the terrorist threat is just as serious before 9/11. If the American people don't understand that, and if the Rudman Hart report is somewhat correct in saying we're dangerously unprepared, if at minimum, shouldn't at least the level of the warning go up?
Well, first of all, Harry, we do have a level of warning that says we are an elevated level of risk, and we remind Americans every single day of that. But I would also tell you, Harry, that America is better prepared. I mean, there's a tendency when we take a look at what has America done to look exclusively at the federal government. And we've done a great deal, and much more work to be done at this level. But if you visit the states, you go to the local communities, if you take a look at what the mayors have done, if you take a look at how the first responders are preparing in their communities, see how they are prepared and are working with the police chiefs and fire chiefs and emergency service technicians. Every state now has a Homeland Security advisor. If you take a look at what the private sector has done, because they have 85% of what we would consider to be the critical infrastructure to enhance the security at facilities all across this country, we are better prepared. We still have more work to do, however, Harry, and to that extent, the senators are absolutely correct.
Folks in suburban Washington are breathing a sigh of relief because the people believed to be the snipers have been captured. If these men had turned out to be Al-Qaeda, would you think there would be the same sense of relief we're experiencing right now?
I think, Harry, this whole community felt itself to be under siege, and we said all along, let's apprehend these individuals and then we'll determine whether or not they have a terrorist connection. But it may not be terrorist in the sense that we've been talking about it nationally for the past year, but this community was terrorized and their families who endured the pain and horror of this terrorism permanently. So we're all very relieved from the president on down.
Governor, we thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good talking to you this morning, Harry. Thank you very much.
Right on. Now here's Hannah.
Thanks, Harry. As we noted, murder charges are expected to be filed against sniper suspects John Allen Muhammad and John Lee Malvo in the state of Virginia today. Maryland, where 6 of the victims were killed, has already filed charges in the sniper case. Douglas Gansler is the state attorney of Montgomery County, Maryland. Good morning, Mr. Gansler.
Good morning.
Why the rush to file charges without talking with the other jurisdictions last week?
Well, actually, we talked to all the jurisdictions. We had a meeting last week with all the local jurisdictions, all the federal jurisdictions, including the Department of Justice. We told them we were going to file charges. In fact, they urged us to file charges because, obviously, if we were sitting here now 5 days later in no jurisdiction and filed murder charges against these 2 people, then the community would wonder if indeed these were the people that committed these murders. Also, I took an oath to prosecute people who commit crime in Montgomery County, Maryland. When 2 people come into our county, murder 6 of our citizens, it's my job when we have probable cause to believe that they committed those murders to file charges.
Mr. Gansler, it's our understanding the suspects were not cooperating with the investigation. Has that changed?
Well, the suspects were brought in, they were arrested, they actually came in without much incident, they were interrogated, albeit somewhat briefly, and since then we're actually not allowed to talk to them because they're in custody of the federal government.
If you're unable to determine who pulled the trigger in which instance, how will you proceed with your prosecution?
Well, right now we're treating both of them as equally culpable in these cases, and as the investigation continues to unfold, we think we will be able to determine which of these particular people fired which particular shots at the 14 different shootings.
The state of Virginia plans to file charges today. They say they do have evidence saying that the 17-year-old John Lee Malvo was the trigger man in at least one of the murders. Now, under the state laws of Maryland, he's not eligible for the death penalty. He would be in Virginia. Does that bolster Virginia's case for holding the trial there?
Well, Virginia should hold the trial there, as Maryland should hold our trial, and the District of Columbia should. All 7 jurisdictions directly affected will ultimately have that opportunity. The logistical concern as to which jurisdiction goes first has yet to be determined. We obviously feel that not only is the outcome of any particular trial part of the prosecution, but also the healing process. In our community, the Montgomery County, because 7 of the 14 shootings occurred there, because 7 of our victims our citizens were killed, we were the beginning of this investigation, the end of the investigation. Rockville, Maryland was the epicenter of this investigation, and we feel we need to start the healing process for the victims and the community in Montgomery County. We do not feel that juveniles should be executed in Maryland. We feel that we can give them life without the possibility of parole, and that is something we would probably seek against Mr. Malvo in this case.
So you do not feel that Malvo needs to face the death penalty then?
No, but each jurisdiction, each community has different social mores, and their system feels differently about it. The legislature feels differently about it. Virginia will have that opportunity, but we are most able to get the death penalty in Maryland because we're able to prosecute. We have the best evidence. We're able to prosecute 7 of the cases at one time when each of the Virginia jurisdictions can only do 1.
All right, Mr. Gansler, we have to go. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
So it'll be really interesting to see how they manage to proceed with this, because in each community, obviously, they want justice to be served. Everybody wants the trial there, but the general consensus is that Virginia is the toughest venue in terms of the death penalty, and we'll see if, you know, the feds take any role in
Well,
this.
I'd
There'll be
imagine
multiple
it will,
trials, yeah.
They'll have to see who has, though, the most evidence and the strongest case before they, you know, decide where they.
Yeah, but everybody wants first crack at these guys,
yeah.
right?
We will stay tuned for each trial in each jurisdiction. Coming up next, the political implications caused by the death of Minnesota Senator Paul Wellstone.
And then later, the always energetic David Evangelista will be here plucking a lucky person from our audience for a head-to-toe makeover.
He's always a trip. I can't wait for that. You're watching The Early Show on CBS.
He totaled her motorcycle.
He was accelerating at a high speed.
You were going so fast, the bike was airborne, sir.
That's right. Next, Judge Judy.
It's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Today at 3:30 on CBS 2. Every gun leaves a unique signature, and California gun makers may soon be required to keep ballistic fingerprints on file. Could this help police solve more crimes? The loaded debate of privacy versus safety, tonight at 11 on CBS 2 News.
When Washington failed to act, one governor decided to lead, Governor Gray Davis. He signed the nation's first law to combat the greenhouse gases that cause global warming. But that's not all he's done to protect our environment. He sued to stop oil drilling off the California coast. He's worked to pass historic bond measures to protect our drinking water and expand state parks.
To me, no issue is more fundamental than the fight to protect our coastline, our air, and our water.
Governor Gray Davis, experience we trust, values we share.
Raise a child everybody can love with parenting tips from TV's most popular parents. Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle in the next hour of The Early Show.
Must have folded my millionth sweater. I'm starving.
Want some chicken and stars?
And then soup? That's for the kiddie section. We're big girls now. There's a better tasting soup. Progresso chicken noodle. Tender pieces of all white meat chicken with bigger slices of vegetables and just the right seasonings. See the difference?
Oh, you're right. Just tastes better.
Now about those Mary Janes.
It's time to go to the better taste, the Progresso.
Pour a little summer onto your salad and catch the taste of California. Kraft Creamy Cucumber Ranch, sun-dried tomato, and balsamic vinaigrette. Kraft dressings. Bite into summer.
The design consultants at Ethan Allen
We'll help turn the home of your dreams into a reality.
You come in, and we have someone there to help you.
We'll take your budget and try and fit into that budget what you'd really like to do.
The complimentary design service.
It's fun.
It's free.
It's easy.
Some mornings I was so constipated I could hardly finish my route till I tried new X-Lax Ultra. The power of X-Lax in a tiny little pill with guaranteed relief by 8 a.m. Good morning.
New X-Lax Ultra with the X-Lax Good Morning Guarantee.
Welcome back to The Early Show on this Monday morning. I'm Hannah Storm.
And I'm Renee Seiler. Still to come this morning, Everybody Loves Raymond stars Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle.
That should be interesting. And how to turn an ordinary drive into a bonding experience with your kids. That's when they talk to you anyway, right there in the car. But first, here's Harry.
Thanks. As investigators try to determine what caused the plane crash that killed Senator Paul Wellstone and 7 others, including his wife and daughter, Minnesota Democrats are trying to find a candidate to run in next week's election. One name that keeps coming up, former Vice President Walter Mondale. For some analysis, we turn now to Bob Schieffer, CBS News' chief Washington correspondent and host of Face the Nation. I demoted you there for just 2 seconds. Bob, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Harry. We're mighty glad to have you back, by the way.
Thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit about Paul Wellstone first, because I remember when he first ran as a political science professor coming out of Carleton College in Minnesota. His was a real Mr. Smith goes to Washington kind of story, wasn't it?
Well, it really was, because, you know, this Senate has become kind of a millionaires club, and when Paul Wellstone got elected, it meant an enormous pay raise for him. It was the most money he'd ever made in his life. When he got to Washington, A couple of senators actually took him down and helped him buy a new suit. I'm not sure he even had a suit in those days. Tom Daschle, the Senate Majority Leader, was talking yesterday about campaigning with Wellstone and said he looked down and he had on a pair of shoes that you could see his socks coming out the top of his shoes. And he told him, he said, "You're taking this common man thing too far, Paul." And he said, no, I got these shoes on sale. They've got a lot more miles in them. He really was kind of the last of, he was a populist, really. He was very liberal, but I think he was more a populist even than a liberal. All the conservatives liked him because he was one of those rare people who actually believed in what he campaigned for. He really was a very sincere, a very nice person.
Yeah, talk the talk and walk the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the Minnesotans going to do now? Everybody is talking that Walter Mondale is sort of a done deal. Is that what you're hearing?
I think it is, and I think the final proof of that was that yesterday Republicans began to attack Mondale and his record. Newt Gingrich on Meet the Press yesterday began to point out that Mondale was a tax raiser, someone who had wanted to raise the eligibility age for Social Security. The people in Republican officials in Minnesota began to say he was someone who had always wanted to raise taxes and was a link with the past. I think what's going to happen, Harry, is that tomorrow there's going to be a memorial service for Wellstone. They're expecting as many as 20,000 people to be there. And then on Wednesday, the state Democratic Farmer Labor Party will nominate someone, unless it's Mondale. It is going to be Mondale. I just don't think there's any question about that. And then you're in the situation of having a Senate campaign that will be exactly 1 week long. I think it's going to be a very difficult campaign for the Republican candidate, Norm Coleman. I mean, here you have, he's campaigning in the wake of this funeral. Mm-hmm. You have an icon of Minnesota politics in Walter Mondale. I think it's going to be a very difficult thing for him to do.
Bob, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you,
good to see you. You bet. Julie?
All right, thanks a lot, Harry. Still ahead on the early show, our exclusive interview with the mother of Derek and Alex King, the young brothers convicted of beating their father to death. That and much more after these messages and your local news.
This portion of the early show sponsored by Walmart. Always low prices. Always.
Working on the rollbacks, prices going down, down. Working on the rollbacks, whoop, another goes down. Working on the rollbacks, prices going down, down. Working on the rollbacks, whoop, another goes down.
Walmart rollbacks. Working hard to save you even more.
Working.
Always.
Working.
On November 22nd,
My friends call me Jinx.
My friends call me James Bond.
live for the moment.
You're a gambling man. If the stakes are right. What happened to you?
Bond and die another day.
Let's get down to business. Who sent you?
Your mama.
Pierce Brosnan, Halle Berry.
Looks like we're going down together.
Not yet.
Die Another Day. Rated PG-13. Starts November 22nd.
Sure, sometimes life spins out of control. So how do you stay on top of things? With Taster's Choice coffee. The rich roast flavor and aroma really gets you going. So you can handle whatever's in your path. Taster's Choice. Advantage you.
It's better than beef and mushroom soup.
Campbell Select beef with portobello mushrooms and rice. It starts with real beef stock, not water like yours. And Campbell Select beef progresso in a taste test. Hey.
That is better.
Campbell Select.
Any more chips for the dip?
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't like mine.
Now they are.
More whole chips for more whole dips. Tarangos, also in lightly flavored pepper jack cheese or salsa.
How long does she have to wait for relief when she's miserable with a cold? As fast as you can open the Vapor Rub, she can begin to feel like she's breathing again. No pill or syrup can give her that. Vapor Rub, the quick Vicks.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow Mix comes in 2 varieties, original and seafood middles. Tastes so good, cats ask for it by name.
Meow, meow, meow.
Great. Now that song's gonna be stuck in my head all day.
Meow.
Some mornings I was so constipated I could hardly finish my route till I tried new X-Lax Ultra. The power of X-Lax in a tiny little pill with guaranteed relief by 8 a.m. Good morning.
New X-Lax Ultra with the X-Lax Good Morning Guarantee.
Here's your forecast, 63 degrees with scattered showers throughout the day.
All right, hey, we got Chad coming in from Wall Street. Chad, what's happening out in the market?
The S&P is trading at heavy volume as the Dow is up and the NASDAQ is up.
Looks like everything's looking up today. We got Chopper John coming in with a traffic report. Chopper John.
Yeah, Jim, you want to board the Old Mill Parkway?
I love Chopper John.
When you can do all this and more with a wireless phone, that's M-Life from AT&T Wireless. Your mobile life made better.
We're live at the beach. Surf is flat, but it's such a sunny, bright, beautiful day. Had to show you this live picture of the ocean. 7:25 on a Monday morning. Good morning. I'm Ken Shocknick. Here's what's happening. And is there anything but the Angels to talk about today? Through 7 games, fans enjoyed every inning all the way up to last night's historic final out.
Driven into right center field. Erstad says he has it. The Angels, world champions.
Yes, they are. A 4-1 win over the Giants, ending a season of dreams for the players, as our Jim Hill found out.
Jimmy, we did it! Wow! We did it. We did it!
It's amazing. I wish we could get the whole stands in here and celebrate like this, but just an incredible feeling. And this is, we kept telling each other, let's have one more champagne celebration.
And the celebration continues. A victory parade scheduled for tomorrow. It's all through Anaheim. We're going to bring you the latest throughout the day here on CBS 2. And Tony, not only were you there, but you even took some nice weather for Game 7.
Great weather for Game 7. Great weather for the day after Game 7. And fear not, Jim Hill has rinsed his eyes out and he's doing okay this morning. Live look at LAX. Blue skies overhead. Sunny and mid-70s for the afternoon high. Mid-70s. Been a while. We've been in the lower 60s for the last several weeks, but things are starting to pop back up. Temperature warm and a lot of blue skies out there. Have a good one.
Perfect. Thank you, Tony. Tomorrow morning on CBS 2 News this morning, this reminder, you'll get a chance to celebrate with the world champion Angels. We've got your guide to everything Angel, all the public celebrations, tomorrow 5 to 7. Jim's next with your Monday morning traffic. We'll be right back.
I think the condition of the school itself has such a great impact on student achievement. It's a shame when students have to go to school in buildings that are deteriorating. Proposition 47 is going to help repair the old schools as well as build new classrooms to alleviate overcrowding. A smaller class size, which enables teachers to work more one-on-one with their students, will help to raise California's test scores.
Vote yes on 47. Better schools, smaller class sizes.
Your bank gave you a Star ATM debit card, and you can use it at ATMs to make withdrawals, balance inquiries, or transfer money between accounts. Star, connecting people with their money.
I called and I saved.
I called and I saved $310.
Call 21st Century for a free quote. We'll beat your current rate, or we'll send you $10.
I saved $300.
Call 21st Century now. You'll get a better rate and a policy with more standard features than any other top 10 California company, or you'll get a check for $10. Either way, you win.
It was worth it to call.
Get more coverage, more service, more savings. Call 21st Century Insurance at 1-800-211-SAVE.
Rat, November 13th through the 17th at the Wilshire Theater. Reserved seats are on sale now at the box office, all Ticketmaster outlets, or charge by phone.
Monday morning on your drive, we're going to check things out right now with Jim. Jim?
Well, good morning, Ken. Anaheim looks pretty good. Orange County in general looks fairly good. South 5, usual slowing there. Westbound 10 will move you out here at Cherry Avenue in Fontana. Earlier wreck cleared from lanes. Heavy backup from Cedar. We're not done with the 10. Santa Monica Freeway portion of the 10 westbound at Arlington. It's a stalled big rig. Right lane block. They figure it'll take some time to clear, about an hour maybe. West 10 slow already out of East LA. Look at the oncoming. Southbound Hollywood Freeway. I think a lot of that has to, or some of it has to do with sun glare. Up an hour earlier this morning. Ken?
Jim, tomorrow with the Angels Parade, you're going to be able to tell us about road closures?
Sure will.
All right, we'll check in with you. Today on our CBS 2 News at 11 a.m., LA's new top cop gets sworn in. We're at the ceremony live today on CBS 2 News at 11 a.m.
Homeowners, thinking about refinancing? Don't go back to square one with another 30-year program. Get ahead of the game. HMS Capital can remove years of payments from your existing mortgage with no application or appraisal fee and nothing added to your loan balance.
I'm Mark Tice, president of HMS Capital. Don't go back to square one with a 30-year home loan.
Get ahead in the game and take advantage of our 25, 20, 15, and 10-year refinance programs.
Apply today. HMS Capital is an equal housing lender.
Are you slowly losing a person you love to Alzheimer's disease? Every day, researchers are getting closer to finding effective treatments for memory loss and Alzheimer's disease. The studies conducted at California clinical trials for people with memory loss are an important part of their progress. If you're worried about memory loss in yourself or someone close to you, you or they may qualify to participate in an important medical research study on a new investigational medication for memory loss. Enrollment is limited, so call now and hopefully help us find the answers together.
What a wild week it is going to be because it's Radio Week on Millionaire.
Would you run for mayor again? Would you run for president?
I don't know.
Do you want this job?
The job.
We can get you this one.
Maybe the early show. Good morning and welcome back to The Early Show. I'm Rudy Giuliani. In this half hour, we'll tell you why antibiotics can sometimes do more harm than good when it comes to fighting infections. And later, our celebrity stylist surprises a lucky viewer with a head-to-toe makeover that takes less than 60 minutes. How did I do?
I think it's safe to say we're not worried about losing our jobs. With all due respect. No, that was excellent. Rudy Giuliani, great to have you here.
Good luck.
Gosh, welcome thanks. to the show.
Thank you.
No, you could do stand-up comedy in case this broadcasting week doesn't work out for you. He's still trying to get over the fact that the Yankees weren't in the World Series. Hope you've recovered.
This wasn't really October.
Yeah, there you go.
This October is canceled as far as I'm concerned. Although, congratulations to the Angels. They were a great team. They really were.
Yeah, I thought you were going to congratulate us. All right.
I'm wishing you luck.
How about to you, too? You have so much going on. This wonderful book, Leadership, which is at the top of virtually every bestseller list. It's fantastic. You've got all sorts of things going on. You're getting married. You've got a new hairdo. You know, we want to get the scoop on everything. But first, you know, I do want to ask you about this sniper case in Washington, all the jurisdictions fighting over who gets the trial first. Since you were a former federal prosecutor, how do you think this should proceed? Do you think that the federal officials will and should get involved?
Federal officials probably, if they have to, should mediate it and figure it out. Hopefully, Virginia and Maryland can work it out, figure out the order of prosecution. They're both going to have to prosecute the case. You can't prosecute Maryland crimes in Virginia or Virginia crimes in Maryland. The question is really, I guess, who goes first?
Do you think it should go to the toughest venue first?
I think I'd let them decide it. And I think if they couldn't decide it, then I think the Justice Department has to step in and make a decision and also decide whether they want to bring a federal prosecution.
Right. Okay. All right, let's talk about the book Leadership. It is in its 7th printing. Needless to say, you're hot right now. Why do you think you're in such demand?
I don't know. It was a labor of love. I wrote that book over a 2.5 year period. I got most of it done before September 11.
Right.
And then had to go back after 4 months of being away from it and reflect on the things that I had written about, the leadership lessons I had learned, how to get through personal crisis. So I redid a little of it, but it's mostly the same. And it helped me. The book helped me a lot in getting through all the things I've had to go through in life, including prostate cancer. So for me, it's sharing with people things that I have learned, and I'm glad it's doing well.
Yeah, one of the things that you talk about in the book, and when I saw this, I thought, well, this would be good for Wall Street, which is to under-promise and over-deliver.
Yeah,
and that's something we don't see a lot. We saw just the opposite happening on Wall Street.
Yeah, I mean, don't really promise something unless you're sure you can deliver it.
Right.
I mean, the bold promises that sometimes people make in an election campaign or in a business will come back to haunt them. So you really should try to follow a rule of, if you promise something, sit back and reflect, can I actually deliver it? And if you can't, well, then wait, say, I'll try, you know, whether you promise to reduce taxes or not. Why not promise I'll try? Mm-hmm. And, you know, leave yourself options just in case something goes wrong, that kind of thing. Those are some of the illustrations.
We're living in this ether of Rudy just over the top. We were together in New Orleans, a month or so ago.
Right.
People reacted to you as like a superstar. I mean, just, it was right. Are you astounded by that?
Sometimes. But, you know, I'm used to it in New York, not being reacted to as a superstar, being reacted to.
Right.
It beats some of the other reactions I used to get, you know, hey, you bum, get out of here. You know?
Well, here would be my question, though.
What are you doing here?
Have you had a moment to reflect, amidst all of the success and adulation, things, if you had it to do over again, you would do differently here in New York City? In 30 seconds or less.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I would do differently. It's very hard to reflect. I mean, some of the things that happened, you would hope and pray didn't happen. I mean,
9/11.
what happened on September 11?
Absolutely.
Half the time I reflect on it, I close my eyes and just say to myself, "It didn't happen. I wish it didn't happen." I mean, there were a lot of technical things I might have done differently about government.
As mayor,
I would have started the administration for children's services earlier. I would have probably done a lot of different things. You know, I describe in the book things I would have done differently. But there's no major thing that I would have done differently. You don't get the chance to do that. I mean, you just get a chance to make decisions.
Yeah.
No, you just get a chance to make decisions, and you got to move forward.
And in the meantime, we have a very important task for you. And that is to get it to the weather, okay?
That's right.
Since
you
want the job on the early show. Take us away, and thanks for being here.
Here's an early look at what's going on in your area.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Rudy. Good morning, everybody. Tony Williams here on Monday morning. Glad you're spending it with us, and we've got fine weather for you today. Lots of blue skies out across the area today. Temperatures in the mid-70s.
I'm Ken Shocknick. This morning between 5 and 7 a.m., you saw the first Angels World Champ fashions right here. Tomorrow on CBS 2 News this morning, from parades to rallies, we're your guide to Angel Tuesday celebrations. Plus, we'll have street closures. Join us live with the World Champs tomorrow between 5 and 7 a.m.
Did all right.
Yes,
did all right. I think we need to get you on the payroll. Well, still coming up next, the mother of two young boys convicted of killing their father speaks out for the first time in an early show exclusive.
Plus, best-selling author Scott Turow tells us about his new novel called Reversible Errors. That's coming up.
And two great actors, Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle, from the hit show Everybody Loves Rudy. No.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Everybody Loves Raymond.
They do.
This is the early show on CBS, and good luck.
It's a place where parents take their kids to have fun. With CBS Tonight,
Rosie!
it will become a crime scene.
Maybe that's not even her in that room.
I'm sorry. Stopping a child predator isn't just another case.
The killer took a souvenir.
For CSI Miami, it's personal.
This animal has provided us with a mountain of evidence, and we will not sleep till we've been all the way through it, because we know that beneath that mountain lies his grave.
The most watched new show of the season, CSI Miami, all new CBS Tonight.
Sit and Sleep presents Bedtime Stories with Larry Miller. One day, Rip Van Winkle went to an ordinary mattress store. He said, "I'm about to sleep for 20 years, so I need a new mattress." That night, he couldn't get comfortable. Oh. So back to the store he went, but they wouldn't exchange it. But at Sit and Sleep, every mattress comes with our exclusive 60-night sleep satisfaction guarantee. So unlike Rip, you won't feel ripped off. Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, so your mattress is free.
Spoke with the boy's mother in her first.
Parents, Doris Roberts. Raise a child everybody can love with parenting tips from TV's most popular parents. Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle in the next hour of The Early Show.
This Halloween, nothing could be scarier than missing out on the fastest-selling DVD ever. Don't panic. Bring home your very own monsters. Buy Disney and Pixar's Monsters, Inc. while supplies last.
Take care of your future now with Bayer Women's Aspirin Plus Calcium. Calcium for your bones, aspirin for your heart. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen and ask about Bayer Women's.
Introducing the world's first truck with four-wheel steering. The new GMC Sierra Denali with 325 horsepower and quadra-steer. Beats everybody, forwards and backwards.
Early Show and millions are cashing in on it. The eBay Story, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central.
The Early Show continues now from the General Motors building at Trump Plaza in New York City.
Welcome back to the Early Show. Drug-resistant germs created by the overuse of antibiotics are a growing health threat in this country. An estimated 50 million unnecessary antibiotic prescriptions filled each year are a major part of the problem. Our Dr. Emily Sine takes a closer look at the dilemma in this morning's Health Watch. Good morning.
Good morning,
Why
Julie.
the overuse of antibiotics?
Well, first, you mentioned 50 million prescriptions. Do you realize that's half of all prescriptions written by primary doctors for certain things like colds and things like that? So that's half of all prescriptions are inappropriately given. And the bottom line is that this is really about expectations. You know, we're sick, we don't feel well, or our child is sick, we need to get back to work. We expect to be given a pill. That's part of the American medical system. We want that antibiotic to treat us right away. Problem with that is, in the vast majority of cases when we go to the doctor, we have an illness for which antibiotics don't work. We have a viral illness rather than a bacterial illness. Antibiotics do not work for viruses. They have no effect at all. So what's happening is we're letting these bacteria, these bugs, learn how to fight the drugs. They're getting smarter and smarter. The drugs no longer work, and we've got this terrible resistance problem that we're facing now.
Why is it sometimes difficult for a doctor to know when to prescribe antibiotics?
Well, that's a really good question. A sore throat, a runny nose, a slight earache. Without a laboratory test, it can be very difficult to tell whether or not it's caused by a virus or caused by a bacteria. So that leaves doctors to sort of statistically analyze what's the likelihood that a person has a bacterial infection versus a viral infection. But more and more experts are cautioning doctors to become more definitive about their diagnosis and really make sure that what they're treating is a bacterial infection.
So when should antibiotics be prescribed?
Right, absolutely. In some cases, obviously, you absolutely need an antibiotic. It can be life-saving. For example, people who have ear infections, people who have pneumonia, people who might have strep throat. All these things can be treated successfully and should be treated with antibiotics.
When should we worry about an infection?
That's such an important question. If you've gone for 10 days to 2 weeks and you haven't been getting better, you've been getting worse, and you have any of the following symptoms, fever, shaking, chills, pain, it's really worth checking in with the doctor and making sure that you haven't developed a bacterial infection, for example, after a cold.
Dr. Emily Sine, good advice. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Julie.
Still to come on the Early Show, some unsuspecting person out on our plaza is going home a changed person thanks to the makeover magic of celebrity stylist David Evangelista. This is the Early Show on CBS.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Zocor. Talk to your doctor about Zocor today.
4 years ago, my doctor said that Zocor was right for me. And since then, I've stuck with it. Ask your doctor if Zocor could work for you. Zocor, be there.
Introducing new Craven Less Sugar juice drinks from Ocean Spray. With a third less sugar and no artificial sweeteners. The taste is irresistible. New Craven Less Sugar from Ocean Spray. Crave the wave.
Announcing the Sears Card event, where you'll get an extra 25% off clothing, shoes, and more. And an extra 10% off all tools, electronics, home appliances, and fine jewelry. Where can you get great savings, even off sale prices, just for using your Sears card? Sears. Where else?
You know, we've been rehearsing and going through the motions for the last couple of weeks, and it feels so good just to get the ship off the dock, so to speak.
It's great. And it's floating. It's that's good.
In other
Apparently.
words, rehearsals have paid off. We've got much more in the Early Show after these messages and your local news.
Don't go away.
Tomorrow on The Early Show, fashion lovers, can you tell the difference between designer and discount? We'll put our anchors to the test. So wake up to what's new on The Early Show.
If you have diabetes, you've probably handled thousands of test strips. But no more, thanks to the AccuCheck Compact Meter. Just drop in a drum containing 17 test strips.
Press the button and you're ready. 17 consecutive tests and no handling strips. What could be clearer? The AccuCheck compact meter. Look for the one with the drum.
Disney's The Santa Claus, the original holiday classic, is available for the first time ever in a special edition DVD. This guy was huge. Plus, in specially marked DVDs and videos, get a free movie ticket to see The Santa Claus 2 coming to theaters. Maximum value $7.
Not every hug is as wonderful as a warm hug from Campbell's. A lunch of Campbell's chicken noodle warms kids up inside and out with golden broth, tender chicken, and fresh egg noodles.
Thanks, Mom.
Find a bowl full of hugs in Campbell's.
Tonight,
what are you hiding, man? What's in there?
Ray reveals a shocking secret that leaves everyone speechless.
Holy
Well, almost everyone. Then, trick or treat.
Stop hitting me! I'm not a pinata!
With Still Standing.
Do you know what you're doing with that hot glue gun?
Oh, Judy, I'm a little... hot glue, hot.
And all new Still Standing right after Raymond, CBS Tonight.
Taking a live look at LAX this morning, just up the road in Anaheim, they are celebrating the new World Series champions, the Angels. Very exciting game last night. It is 7:55 this morning. Good morning. Here's what's happening. A couple of high-profile court cases expected to move forward today. Opening statements are expected in the case against actress Winona Ryder. She's charged with 3 felony counts in connection with an alleged shoplifting spree at Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills last December. Among the 12 jurors seated, Peter Guber. He's the former Sony Pictures Entertainment chief. An additional note, tomorrow is Ryder's 31st birthday. And in Malibu, actor Nick Nolte is scheduled to be arraigned today on 2 counts resulting from his arrest last month. Nolte faces 1 count of driving under the influence and 1 count of being under the influence of a controlled substance. Both charges are misdemeanors. Nolte probably will not be at today's hearing because he is still in rehab. Let's check on the morning commute right now. Jim Thornton brings it to us. It's been kind of busy out there this Monday morning, Jim.
You know, it's always something, especially on Monday, it seems like, Suzanne. And good morning. We'll take you right here to South Orange County. Right now, we have a wreck southbound 5 at Camino Capistrano, San Juan Capistrano area. Just reading the latest from CHP, looks like the 2 right lanes are blocked there. Then there is an unusual backup there this morning on the way out of Mission V and down towards San Juan Capistrano. But northbound, since they opened up another lane, looks terrific this morning. 405 north, I think it sends a lot of folks up to the 405. So out of Orange County, 405 north, away from Long Beach through the South Bay, about an hour-long trip. A couple of stalled cars, that's about the worst of it there that you have, but it is a tight ride. Here's the 5 near Burbank Boulevard. There's a stuck truck. That's why it's so slow here south of Burbank Boulevard. Right lane, that sun glare that you're not used to at this hour isn't helping matters either for folks traveling through the San Fernando Valley and elsewhere. Suzanne?
I hate those stuck trucks.
Me too.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
All right.
Tomorrow on CBS 2 News this morning, Celebrate with the Champs, your guide to everything Angel, including all the public celebrations. And Tony Williams says there is sun in your forecast. Next.
45 years ago, a new California bank took a big step and financed its very first home loan. And then came another one. Until today, when home ownership all over America is possible by a once small California bank still called Downey Savings. Now one of the state's 10 largest banks and 2nd largest, headquartered in Southern California. So while interest rates are still low, visit your local branch or log on right now to lock in your interest rate on a loan to buy or refinance your home. Downey Savings is proud to be an equal housing lender.
You can feel it from the minute you arrive. The sheer excitement of 2,000 slot machines and table games ready to make you a winner. Win your share of $15,000 every Wednesday in Casino Morongo's over $150,000 holiday cash giveaway. Now through December 25th. Drawings start at 5 p.m. with cash prizes up to $5,000. Casino Morongo, just 20 minutes west of Palm Springs. Call 1-800-252-4499 or online at casinomorongo.com. It's closer than you think.
A crash course in auto insurance. It pays to shop. Most drivers can save a lot by making just 3 calls. In fact, Farmers customers can switch to almost any other insurance company and save money. The Insider's Guide to Buying California Auto Insurance provided by 21st Century gives you the information to make it easy to switch and save. Read it online or call now for your free copy. Get more coverage, more service, more savings. 21st Century Insurance. Visit 21st.com or call 1-800-211-SAVE.
Tony Williams here with your forecast. It's going to be a nice one.
We've got a nice one already out across the area. We've got sunny skies. We're climbing through the 60s, and we'll max out today in the mid-70s. Lots of sunshine on this Monday.
Thanks a lot, Tony. And today on CBS 2 News at 11, LA's new top cop. See you then.
Breast cancer has touched my life.
My mother is a breast cancer survivor. I'm Marg Helgenberger.
I'm Sylvia Lopez.
And I'm Gretchen Carr. Breast cancer will claim 40,000 lives this year.
And many of those lives could have been saved through early detection.
You can help by taking part in the Komen Foundation's LA County Race for the Cure.
Join CBS 2 and KCAL 9 on Sunday at the Rose Bowl to run, walk, or visit the expo. Call 626-577-2700.
Ever figure out what Gray Davis actually cost you? Start with over $11 billion because of Davis's failure to act on energy in the budget. He panicked on energy, signing deals at rip-off prices. Our bill skyrocketed over 30%, more than $7 billion. The money Davis wasted could have built 1,000 new schools or paid for more than 100,000 police or teachers. If you've had enough, I'm asking for your vote. I'm Bill Simon.
Hollywood divorces Jennifer Aniston and Charlie's Angels next, ET.
Start.
Okay, I just want to point out that one sign, Renee, we watched you in Dallas. I paid them to do that. No,
They just moved here from Carrollton, Texas.
They did, and they put their little sign up and everything. It makes me feel so welcome. And welcome back to the second hour of the early show this Monday morning. I'm Renee Seiler.
And I'm Harry Smith. We're off to a good start. We've got folks here from Florida and from White Buffalo Branch, and we're all feeling good about our brand new start, and we're out here on the plaza on 5th Avenue.
Great day.
What could be better? Ahead this morning, our Kids Connection series practically guarantees an end to the question, are we there yet? With some really creative and good ideas for what to do with the kids on a long car trip.
Right, and we'll have more advice, this time from parents who have had, well, how should we put this, mixed success with raising kids. The stars of Everybody Loves Raymond are here with some hilarious tips. First, though, here's Hannah.
Hey, Hannah.
All right, thanks, Renee and Harry. Well, as you guys know, we have a whole new look, so we thought we'd bring our makeover king here.
Hannah, give me a hug, baby.
Oh, my God.
What a way to kick off the new early show on CBS with a makeover. Right or wrong?
In case you don't recognize him, this is the crazy David Evangelista from the John Barrett Salon across the way at Bergdorf Goodman.
Who knew?
He's going to pluck somebody out of the crowd, and you have, let's see, not very long, less than an hour to completely make up. So let's
Should I start?
All right.
Who wants a makeover? Who wants a makeover, baby? Who wants it? 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 You're getting it! You're getting it! Are you ready? I'm ready! Let's go! This way!
Over there. Bye! Good luck! We'll be checking in with David and his victim a little bit later on, but first, let's head back inside to Julie for a quick check of the news. Jules, you're safe in there.
I sure am. Thank you, Hannah. Let's get straight to the news. An American diplomat was shot to death in Amman, Jordan this morning. An unidentified masked gunman opened fire as the diplomat was leaving home. The diplomat, identified as Lawrence Foley, worked for an agency that handles foreign aid. Authorities are seeing if the Washington sniper suspects can be linked to other crimes. Early Show national correspondent Thalia Schurz is in Rockville, Maryland with that. Thalia, good morning.
Good morning to you, Julie. Well, D.C. police are investigating whether suspects John Mohammed and John Malveaux robbed banks in this area in order to finance their operations. This as investigators are examining a handgun recovered from their car for possible links to shootings elsewhere.
In Tacoma, Washington, detectives are reassessing the unsolved murder of Kenya Cook, shot in the face last February when she answered a knock at her front door. Mohammed, also known as John Williams, had fallen out with Cook's aunt. Cook's aunt, Isa Nichols, had sided with Mohammed's ex-wife in a nasty child custody dispute. Police believe she may have been the intended target. In Flint, Michigan, Sunday, the man who co-owned the blue Chevrolet Caprice believed to have been used in the D.C. area shootings appeared in court. Nathaniel Osborne, who is being called a material witness, will be moved to Maryland for questioning in the next few days. His arrest came as Maryland prosecutors filed murder charges against Mohammed and Malveaux. Today, the state of Virginia is expected to follow suit. But where to try the case remains in question. Earlier, Maryland State Attorney Douglas Gansler spoke to us.
We do not feel that juveniles should be executed in Maryland. We feel that we can give them life without the possibility of parole, and that is something we would probably seek against Mr. Malveaux in this case.
Meantime, a sense of normalcy has returned to the Washington, D.C. area. The beautiful weather brought people out to outdoor cafes. Local schools held a full slate of outdoor sporting activities, and about 20,000 runners took part in the annual Marine Corps Marathon. And Julie, I can tell you that was a spectacular sight to see. I can attest to that. Back to you, Julie.
Glad to hear that. All your stories in Rockville, Maryland. Thank you. A rescue in Moscow left at least 117 hostages dead, most killed by a mystery gas. Unconscious victims were pulled from a theater this weekend. Russian troops spread the gas before storming the building held by Chechen rebels. And former Miss North Carolina Rebecca Revels is turning her attention to the world. Revels won the title in June, but resigned when topless pictures of her surfaced. Now she's been selected to represent the U.S. in the Miss World pageant. And that is a look at the news this morning. Now here's an early look at what's going on in your area.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Tony Williams here. Blue skies overhead today. We've got a fine forecast for you. Lots of sunshine out there right now. Temperatures today on the comfortable side. Afternoon highs today in the mid-70s. All in all, a fine Monday.
And I'm Suzanne Rico. This morning between 5 and 7 a.m., you saw the Angels' first World Champ fashions. Tomorrow, we'll bring you parades and rallies. We are your guide to Angel Tuesday celebrations. Join us live with the World Champs. That's tomorrow between 5 and 7 a.m.
And this morning we're starting something new that we're going to call the Early Line, and it's a daily look at what's going on in the world, and it really is a chance for us to talk about some of the things that you're talking about on a day-by-day basis. And the thing I think that we want to address this morning, we had Tom Ridge on earlier this morning, who's the Director of Homeland Security, and how secure are we feeling? In light of all of the things that are going on, we have a diplomat shot in Amman this morning. We get the Hart-Rudman report says we are so not ready for a terrorist attack. CIA Director Tenet says last week the danger is as high or higher than it was before the September 11th attacks. The sniper last week in suburban Washington, D.C.
Kid in Oklahoma. This weekend,
it never
shootings.
stops.
Right.
It never stops.
Right.
And do you feel differently now as a mom, as a parent, than you did a year and a half ago?
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't think you can open up your mail now without thinking of anthrax. I think you see that people were killed mowing their lawn, doing mundane things like going to a craft store, pumping gas, and you feel that your children, that school is not the safest place.
So, but is it all in your mind, or have you actually changed the way you go about your daily life?
Well, one of the things that Hannah and I were talking about, since we're both the mothers of young children, she was saying last week, would you send your child to school?
And in the D.C. area during the sniper
and while you
shootings,
do want to maintain some degree of normalcy in your child's life, you also have to weigh that with their security. And I can tell you honestly, call me irrational if you will, but I felt like if I lived there, I wouldn't feel comfortable sending my child to school. And Hannah, you took directly the opposite approach.
I disagree with that, because I think that with all the bad news that we're getting, I think you can choose to live your life a couple of ways. But if you live your life in a state of fear and you teach your children to do the same, fear is so paralyzing that I don't think that that's an effective way to raise your children. So I would say you give your children. Well,
the kids were just as afraid in the school. They couldn't go outside. They couldn't go on the playground.
A 13-year-old boy was among those who were shot. And I mean, that is when you start thinking, okay, if I send my child to school and something happens, you would never forgive yourself.
And that came on the heels of the sniper saying your children are not safe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I think that it's probably incumbent upon the parents, and it is to give your children a sense of security. Don't pretend like nothing is going to happen to you, but assure them that you're there for them. Right, and leave them in their routine, because that's one thing that makes them feel the most secure.
All right.
Wow. Well, no opinions here, as you can see. So, yeah. Well, next on the early show, how you can turn an ordinary road trip into something special with your kids. Stay with us. You're watching the early show on CBS.
We didn't have that when I was growing up.
Good. Having a busy day? Can't find the time to eat right? Campbell's introduces something so revolutionary, it deserves a hand. Introducing Campbell's Soup at Hand. 4 hot, satisfying soups like creamy chicken and tomato. They're the only soups made sippable in new Heat and Go microwavable cups. Sure, your hands are full, but it's amazing what you can do with new Soup at Hand from Campbell's. Good.
Nourished skin is wonderful stuff. It moves with you, grows with you, fits you perfectly. All thanks to Olay Complete Body Wash. Now with vitamins A, E, and B3, its moisturizing formula leaves skin more nourished than the leading body wash and rinses clean. Love and nourish your skin completely, and it will forever bend over backwards for you. Olay Complete Body Wash with vitamins. Love the skin you're in.
A cough is a cough is a cough. And if it's nothing but a cough, why give her something that treats other things too? New Simply Cough has only the medicine she needs to make a cough simply disappear. Simply Cough, new from the makers of children's Tylenol. Because a happy kid is a happy kid is a happy kid.
Honolulu, baby, where'd you get those eyes and that bright complexion I just idolize? Honolulu, baby, where'd you get that style and those pretty red lips and that sunny smile?
Dole fruit bowls. Life is sweet.
This week, it's about sex,
He has a marvelous piece of beef, and you certainly are no vegetarian.
lies,
Me and Wharton, please.
and more lies.
How dare you pretend to be having a relationship with me?
Jill's secret is out.
I'm tired of being used as your sex toy.
Now, can she handle the truth on The Young and the Restless?
We lost our home, and our handicapped daughter nearly lost her medical care because of John Garamendi.
As insurance commissioner, Garamendi sold our insurance company to a junk bond king and foreign bank. They made billions while elderly and handicapped policyholders were financially devastated.
Garamendi accepted contributions from lawyers who profited from the deal and even took a $100,000 job from the lead investor's partner.
Please, don't give John Garamendi another chance to hurt more people.
This morning, we're kicking off a special week-long Kids Connection series, and each day we'll examine different ways parents can bond with their children.
And so we're going to get the show on the road with some ideas for finding quality time in your car, or in this case, your minivan. Margot Gilman is an editor with the Ladies' Home Journal. She joins us this morning. Good morning, Margot.
Nice to have you aboard.
Yeah, thanks very much. Now, one of the things that people say is a great time to chat with your kids or find out what's going on in their lives is in the car. Is that really true?
Right, it's true. The average mother spends 7 hours a week ferrying her kids around to various after-school activities, sporting events, piano lessons, which is more time than the typical family spends gathered around the dinner table at night. So rather than think of this as, an inconvenience, this chauffeur duty as a real pain, think of it as a valuable opportunity to have one-on-one time with your children.
But you know what? You're in the car, you're driving along, you say, well, how was your game today? Or how was school today? Okay.
Well, that's right.
Okay. How do you get them to really talk?
Well, it's true. Most kids, and particularly all teenagers, are somewhat on the, they're not exactly the most forthcoming individuals.
Yes, right.
So you have to have devices for entering into conversation.
Right.
If you ask a question that can be answered in a one-word answer, that's exactly what you're going to get.
Yes.
So what you really need to do is to ask specific questions about things that you know are going on in your child's day, their friends, the things they're interested in. You can also talk about yourself. If you share with your child,
it really is a springboard for them to say,
right.
oh, right, I
say,
felt like
I've been
that.
having this real problem at work, I have this boss. If you share with them, they may be inspired to come back at you with something that's revealing.
But once you've solved the world's problems with your children, there's other stuff for them to do, especially a long car trip.
Right, yeah. Like, what have you got? This is a minivan with lots of features.
This is like the most whiz-bang minivan. And if you're lucky and smart, you'll think about getting some of these things, particularly for longer car trips. Now we're coming into the holiday season and people are going to be on the road a lot. People have probably seen cars that are equipped with televisions before. This one has a 7-inch DVD that
now, is
plays.
it visible from all of
Yeah,
the seats?
now see,
in the back,
I'm watching and I'm listening, so that means there's actual silence in the
Yeah, it has
car
tone phone.
while you're driving because
Right.
they're listening to the movie. This is great.
It's a it has 4 wireless headphones.
Oh, so there's no wires
there's no
either, so
wire.
you don't have that whole...
Right.
Oh, wow.
And so the kids can
Can
be
you guys
all-
see that in the back? Can you see this? The screen, the video screen?
Yeah, see, he can't even hear you because he's
He's
listening
got
to the
the
movie.
earbuds.
So, but you know what? He's got something else here. What is this? What is, here, can we just hold it up and show it? Well, what is this, Margot?
Well, that's a felt board. Another thing for parents to do is to pack a travel bag for your kids before you set out on a long journey. We have a little example over here.
Oh, look at
Toys
this.
that are, can withstand the bumps and, curves of the road.
Right.
Like that, coloring books. You can pack crayons. Here's another wonderful thing for the car. These are audio books. There's a CD you can play, and the kids can listen with the headphones.
So the parents can listen to their own music.
Right. The parents, there's a separate CD system in the front of the car,
good.
so the parents can listen to the radio, or they can just have a conversation while the kids are all plugged in.
But you know what? You don't really have to, if you don't have the money to pop for the DVD player or whatever. Look at this. Talk about the old reliable. Right?
A coloring book.
Magnadoodle.
This is a great thing, Harry. Have you ever seen this as a Magnadoodle? This is wonderful.
Yes.
Got a little magnet on the end, right? And
exactly.
You can write.
And Harry has a little etch-a-sketch.
I have my etch-a-sketch.
Which they had these when I was a kid. They just miniaturized them now.
Oh, this is very cool. It's a kind of a car version that's got some extra games on it and stuff.
Oh yeah, the etch-a-sketch. Yeah.
Another wonderful thing, if you're going on a vacation, is to create a travel journal for your child to use. Just a simple notebook. Your kids can paste souvenirs in here, color, or write about the places they've seen and the people they've met. But then, you can never get. There are some things that you can do that don't cost any money at all, and that's just card games like we all played when we were little kids. 20 questions.
Alphabet game.
Totally quiet rocks. Game. You ever play the quiet game?
I don't know what I don't know.
First one to talk loses.
We spent many happy hours in my childhood playing the license plate challenge.
Which is also very, very good too.
Yes, and there were money stakes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you state 1 to 25.
Margot, thank you so much. This is happy motoring. Thank you so much. If you missed any of our tips, just click on the Early Show website at cbsnews.com. Our Kids Connection continues tomorrow with a rare appearance from best-selling children's author Lemony Snicket. That's right. He'll tell us about his new book called The Carnivorous Carnival.
And still another chart-topping novelist, Scott Turow, gives us a preview of his latest called Reversible Errors. And you can see our makeover is in full swing. Things are looking great so far. The finished product a little bit later on The Early Show.
Look at that. Holy cow.
This Kids Connection segment sponsored by Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. It's the cheesiest.
His mama knows how to make a cloudy sky blue. His mama knows how to make a wish come true. His mama knows the wonderful way to please me. His mama knows all she's got to do is tease me. He's got the blues. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. The Blue Box Blues.
Moms know kids want the one in the blue box. Kraft cheese and macaroni, the cheesiest.
His mama knows he got the blues.
There are over 500 Medicare health plans in the U.S. 10 near Carol McCarty offer the care she needs with prescription drug coverage. 3 fit her budget.
Introducing 1-800-MEDICARE, your source for healthcare information. We'll help narrow your search for health plans in your area so you can find one that's right for you.
Carol chose one that saved her enough to travel and visit her favorite mermaid.
From comparing health plans to learning about flu shots and diabetes screenings, call 1-800-MEDICARE.
I'll remember you. You remember me. We both know how good remembering can be. It's about that connection between me and you.
Know someone having a birthday this month? Send a card.
I'm smiling now 'cause I remembered you.
They'll never forget you remembered.
A cold sore's coming.
How long will it last?
Heal it with Abreva. It speeds healing like a prescription without one. It's the only non-prescription that's FDA approved to speed healing, so you're you again faster. Abreva speeds healing like a prescription without one.
When you laugh, your whole mouth shows. And Aquafresh keeps it all protected with 3 toothpaste in 1 for strong teeth, healthy gums, and clean, fresh breath. Today's Aquafresh, the whole mouth paste.
Starting a new job is no simple task, especially when you have to get up as early as we do. And while I've been on this shift for a while, Harry's been missing it for 6 years, these guys are still getting used to the grueling hours. So our fitness guru, Mina Lessig, is going to be here to... Oh my God! It's President Bush. Wait, Mina can wait.
Welcome to New York.
President Bush.
How are you? Welcome to New York.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Boy,
you
have other things to do.
How you doing here? All right, there you go. All right,
May I, President Bush,
Yeah.
Julie Chen, nice to
Julie,
meet
what a delight.
I can't believe this.
Hannah, how are you?
Store President.
All right.
Renee
Yeah.
Seiler. Thanks for being here.
I know, Renee.
Yes.
That's right.
Are you from Texas?
This woman here, she speaks Texan right there.
That's right.
And here's a man, right? Look at him. Looking good. Looking really good.
Are you supposed to be in Mexico?
Oh, no. I snuck away.
Are you here just for, what are you doing in town, Mr.
Well,
President?
you know, every chance I get, I come to New York. I do. 'Cause I love this place.
Right.
Everybody loves New York. It's
your
great. It's
kind
good
of
to be
town,
here.
isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's my kind of town. So, and of course, you know, this is a big deal. It's your early show. Congratulations. Fantastic. Your first. I mean, aren't we pleased? Isn't it doing that great? I mean, I wouldn't miss this for all the money in the world. I wouldn't.
You saw Rudy Giuliani on the show and decided
I
to
did.
stop by. Is
I
that
saw
right?
Rudy. I
He
didn't
was
want to
afraid he might want to run for president because his tryout of the early show anchor thing didn't go too well.
I saw you had Tom Ridge on, and
That's right.
he's a good man. He's an honest man. He came highly recommended by Vince McMahon. So I want you to know he used to wrestle.
Why is Harry laughing over there?
Oh, he used to wrestle. Not wrestle, but wrestle. That's
Wrestle.
right.
Yeah, he's a
All
good
right.
wrestler. Yeah.
I don't know if these guys are fooled. These guys are definitely fooled, but this is really Stephen Bridges, who has been
Very
impersonating.
impressive.
You're kidding. This is not
impressive.
really
The
President
amount
Bush.
of makeup that he had on.
Is it the rubber?
I hope the president doesn't wear this much makeup.
How long does it take you to look like this in the morning?
It's about 3 hours, a little less now. We're kind of getting it down really well, but it's all fun.
How long did it take to get the dialect and the speech patterns down?
Well, you know, I'm a Texan, so
Hey, what about these? These are unbelievable.
I know these ears are wax ears. Now, how long does it take to get it all off?
about 35, 45 minutes, hour, right around there.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be for Halloween?
Well, you got it right here. Trick or treat.
Stephen Bridges, thank you so
you.
much.
What a
Mr.
pleasure.
President,
Thanks, Dave.
still ahead, those meddling parents from Everybody Loves Raymond, Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle. Plus, we're going to check with David Evangelista for the makeover. This is the early show on CBS.
Not this kind of makeup.
No, not this kind.
Tomorrow on The Early Show, fashion lovers, can you tell the difference between designer and discount? We'll put our anchors to the test. So wake up to what's new on The Early Show.
This court-ordered notice is about Metropolitan Life Insurance sold before 1973, often door to door. African Americans, other non-Caucasians, and their relatives could get benefits in a settlement of claims that they were overcharged. If you qualify, there are deadlines to ask for benefits, to exclude yourself, or take other steps. So call 1-800-960-2381 or go to lifesettled.com, 1-800-960-2381.
It's coming, the most magical time of the year. So get ready now. With True Values, get ready for the holiday sale. Earn over $186 in a rebate on just what you need to prepare for the season. The Get Ready for the Holiday Sale at True Value, helping you transform your home into something magical.
Let's see. Perfect. Which brings us to Mr. Friday.
What is that? Atmosphere? And those double-glazed baby back ribs. And where are the utensils?
Friday's take on dinner? Tonight, dig into our mouth-watering double-glazed baby back ribs. Glazed twice for a one-of-a-kind Friday's taste. Eat what you love where you eat at Friday's.
Ooh, banana.
What you doing there?
Just admiring your banana bread, ma'am.
We took the taste of fresh baked banana bread for Quaker Oatmeal Deluxe Collection. So good, you'll wonder where we got the recipe.
Consider this. New Shell gasoline is specially formulated to help prevent deposits in your engine. And a clean engine performs better. Is it any wonder, then, why so many drivers choose Shell?
I have 3 boys. I've always tried to do what's best for them, for their health. And One a Day has helped. Still does. Especially now that I know 1 in 3 men face prostate problems.
Introducing One a Day Men's Health Formula, a new way to help improve those odds. It's a complete multivitamin with 21 nutrients, plus lycopene, which Harvard studies have linked to prostate health.
Sure, 1 in 3 men face prostate problems, but hopefully not one of my 3.
New One a Day Men's, the multivitamin with more for your health.
Did you know a denture adhesive can do more than hold?
I never knew until I tried new Fix-It Complete. It actually helps prevent bad breath.
Now I get a much better fit.
Introducing Fix-It Complete, the strong hold you expect, plus 4 things you didn't. Fresher breath, fewer stains, less soreness, and a better fit.
It helps prevent stains, so my smile always looks great.
It even reduces gum soreness.
Get new Fix-It Complete and forget it.
Blue skies over downtown Los Angeles with the 10 freeway in the foreground on this Monday morning, 8:25. Good morning, I'm Kent Schucknick. Here's what's happening. The Los Angeles Police Department ushers in a new era this morning with a public ceremony welcoming incoming Bill Bratton as the city's new chief of police. Bratton took the official oath of office on Friday in this private ceremony in Mayor Jim Hahn's office. Today's public swearing-in ceremony is at the Police Academy. You'll see it live on CBS 2 News at 11 a.m. this morning. Bratton says he will turn around a department marked by corruption, scandal, falling morale, and rising crime. Let's check your weather for the start of the new week. Still cool outside, but we see the sun. So, Tony, it's a perfect, crisp October morning.
Is that what that is up above, the sun this morning?
Yeah, you remember it.
It's been a while since we've had the sun this time of day. 8:25 in the morning. We've got blue skies overhead. Not much in the way of cloud cover or fog. Just a fine Monday. Here we go, the forecast for today. We'll go with mid-70s for the afternoon highs. That's downtown, mid-70s in the valleys today. Deserts will be in the mid-80s, and you folks at the beach, sunny skies right around 70 degrees.
Well, they'll like that. Thanks, Tony. Tomorrow morning on CBS 2 News this morning, it's important programming reminder, your chance to celebrate early. The Angels celebrations tomorrow from 5 to 7. We've got your guide for everything Angel, all the public celebrations that will be happening tomorrow, including road closures and places you might actually want to avoid. Speaking of, we'll check traffic with Jim next.
Every gun leaves a unique signature, and California gun makers may soon be required to keep ballistic fingerprints on file. Could this help police solve more crimes? The loaded debate of privacy versus safety, tonight at 11 on CBS 2 News. Tuesday, November 5th, CBS 2 News brings you complete election coverage. We'll take you inside key campaign headquarters and follow the governor's race from start to finish, plus up-to-the-minute results on the secession issues. For complete election coverage, turn to CBS 2 News, Tuesday, November 5th, starting at 4:30.
There is a rhythm to life. We sleep at night and wake in the morning. It's this sleep cycle that helps keep us in a healthy balance. But for millions of Americans, sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. While natural sleep is best, Ambien helps you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and wake rested and refreshed, not groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full 7 to 8 hours to sleep and wake rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
When the Lakers win a championship, the travel downtown gym is really shut down because of all the street closures. With the Angels tomorrow, it shouldn't be so bad. When the Clippers win a championship, you and I will go buy a lottery ticket.
And then we'll just shut the whole town down,
Yeah,
right? Well, tomorrow we'll be all over that, of course, for the parade. We are looking at the usual parade pretty much in Orange County for this morning, Kent. We'll start here 405 South in Orange County at Brookhurst, a two-car wreck right shoulder, the 22 eastbound. Usual delays as well. Beach Boulevard to the Orange Crush. You're looking okay in Orange County, Inland Empire as well. Usual slowing, usual places. The 5 South, just a few minutes ago, they canceled a SIG alert at Verdugo. It was a stuck big rig. It's gone, but now recovery mode there for the South 5 out of Burbank. Excuse my hands. I really get into this. See you later.
We like somebody who's enjoying their work.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Today on our CBS 2 News at 11 a.m., LA's new top cop gets sworn in officially in a public swearing in. We're live at the ceremony today on CBS 2 News at 11 a.m.
Outdated earthquake reinforcement and fire safety features can lead to tragedy. The Natural History Museum was built nearly 100 years ago, long before earthquake safety standards ever existed.
We can't predict the next serious earthquake, but we can protect our children. That's why we need Measure A.
Measure A will modernize earthquake and fire safety systems, so children from all over Los Angeles County will be safe when they visit our museums.
Protect our children. Vote yes on A.
Get your home and your lifestyle together this weekend at the Fairplex in Pomona. See hundreds of exhibits in home improvement, remodeling, decorating, and landscaping, plus health, fitness, and recreation. Daily entertainment, seminars, and cooking shows. Enter to win a $6,000 LA spa. There'll be a free kitchen slicing knife to the first 500 this Friday. And a free food chopper to the first 100.
Becoming the bride of Frankenstein on the next Martha Stewart.
Good morning, I'm Kenny Rogers. I'm in Atlantic City, and when I wake up to what's new on the early show on CBS. Surely you do too.
Welcome back to the last half hour of the early show. I'm Julie Chen, along with Harry Smith, Renee Seiler, and Hannah Storm. The master of makeovers, David Evangelista, has been hard at work this morning. We've given him less than an hour to give one of our viewers a fresh new look. And we will have the... Oh, my.
That looks like our makeup room in the morning.
Yeah. We're going to have the finished product in just a bit.
She looks pained. Also, I had Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle from Everybody Loves Raymond will be along.
And best-selling author Scott Turow stops by to chat about his latest bestseller.
All right, what should you wear today? Here's an early look at the weather. What's going on in your area?
Good morning, everybody. Tony Williams here with blue skies across Southern California. We've got mid-70s on tap this afternoon. A little bit of coastal fog. We've pretty much burned it off already. The beach is looking real nice with temps in the 70s. All in all, a fine Monday.
FM. I'm Ken Shocknick. This morning between 5 and 7 a.m. you saw the first Angels World Champ fashions. Tomorrow morning on CBS 2 News this morning, from the parades to the rallies tomorrow, we are your guide to Angel Tuesday celebrations. Join us live with the World Champs tomorrow between 5 and 7 a.m.
And up next, we'll catch up with Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle, two of the stars from the popular sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond.
Good there.
This is The Early Show on CBS.
Hey, don't forget your Pop-Tarts. Great. Got my toaster strudel? Got you covered.
No wonder kids prefer the taste of Pillsbury Toaster Strudel. It's got layers of flaky crust, juicy fruit filling, and do-it-yourself icing.
So where do all your Pop-Tarts go?
Something better just popped up in your grocer's freezer.
Pillsbury Toaster Strudel.
You played well.
I did okay.
You'll beat them next time.
They'll kill us.
Sometimes you just want to give a little more.
You hungry?
Why not start with dinner? Now Stouffer Skillet Sensations has 50% more juicy white meat chicken. Perfectly blended with crunchy vegetables. It's more like what you'd make yourself.
Great. Let's practice.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Stouffer Skillet Sensations.
Nothing comes closer to home.
This perfect parenting segment sponsored by Stouffer's Skillet Sensations. Nothing comes closer to home.
Well, on classic TV shows like Leave It to Beaver and The Brady Bunch, parents were always offering words of encouragement and unwavering support for their children.
But talk about intrusive. All right, the parents on the hit sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond, they take a slightly different approach.
You could say that, yes. Doris Roberts and...
We told you were a good writer so that you would think you were a good writer. See, then somebody gave you a job.
That's what parents do. They all lie to their kids for their own good.
But other parents aren't lying, Ma. They believe in their children.
No, they don't.
Oh, my. Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle play Marie and Frank Barone on Everybody Loves Raymond. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Now, parents really do believe in their children. We know you're just playing that role on TV. You're not really like that.
No, I personally, no.
Absolutely not. How would you describe Marie and Frank's parenting style, if they have a style?
Iron fist. No.
Works well?
What?
It works well?
Not well enough. You got to keep pounding, actually.
Well, considering our children, I don't think it works very well at all.
Yeah, right. You've got Raymond, who is the, overachiever. And then there's, Robert. Poor Robert.
Yeah.
Poor forgotten Robert. Doris, she actually feels, though, Marie, that she is a wonderful mother. And she is doing something right. I mean, the audience loves her despite the fact that...
What I love is that if you can laugh at that character, you can laugh at your own parents, which we need to do sometimes. Because I've gotten to the age where I know that humor is more important than food or sex.
I haven't gotten to that age. I haven't gotten there yet. I like the three of them equally.
Humor will last longer.
Do you think, Peter, that Frank is a good father? Does he think he's a good father?
Of course not.
Yeah. Does he believe he's a good father?
I think he does the best he can, and that's not very much. But he believes when he's being what some people would term borderline abusive, that he's actually helping, Ray be a tough guy.
Right, a strong
Because he doesn't
guy.
want him to be soft or weak or...
And some fathers do treat their sons that way.
They treat them badly to prepare them for a wicked world.
Right. Now, do you think that people can actually, through all the humor, see something valuable in the family relationships? I mean, what do you hope they take out of the show?
I think they can identify, which is really important, that their parents are as crazy as we are.
Yeah.
Do people always walk up to you and say, hey, you remind me of my mom?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I get it a lot, and a lot from young women in their 30s and 40s. Who say, you remind me of my father so much.
I personally, I'm glad to hear you describe women as
young.
in their 30s and 40s as young. Hannah,
Thank you.
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah, young to me.
If I had a mother-in-law like Marie, I don't know what I would do. I feel so sorry for Deborah.
But you want to kill her. See?
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Why do you laugh at her? Isn't that interesting?
Laugh at Marie?
Yeah.
Because she's well-intentioned, I think.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right, she means well.
Everything she does comes from love. She's intrusive, she's a pain in the neck, and I've raised that level or lowered it. I mean, she's all those things. She's a control freak, but she does it because she thinks that she's correcting you.
What is it about mothers and food, too? Because I know when my daughters are upset, I'm like, sit down, let's have a cookie, we'll make some tea, and the whole world will be better.
When the child starts to toddle away, they're really saying, ta-ta, Mommy, I'm going away. We don't know that. We don't read about it. There are no books about that I know of. And when they leave your home, you have nothing left. You don't have any purpose, you think.
Just so you know, that Doris's son is her manager.
Yes,
right.
That's how she solved that problem.
Right, he's never far away.
The empty nest dilemma.
And you have two daughters, and we assume your parenting style is much different.
Well, I just came from Parents' Weekend at Brown University.
Oh, wonderful.
I have two daughters at Brown.
And you're writing a book, aren't you, about sort of motherhood and...
It's about life, laughs, and lasagna.
That's right, yes.
Good combination.
Great combination.
You've got some other projects, both of you, the book, and then also you are going to be starring in, I believe it's called
Hanson Master Spy.
Right.
It's a CBS special series on next Sunday night. About Robert Hansen, the FBI spy, with William Hurt and Mary Louise Parker, and yours truly, playing an awful father.
Right.
Right.
Well,
a worse father.
Worse
than
father,
is on this show.
yeah.
Right.
Quite
is that possible?
It is possible.
A departure from your usual role, isn't it? Yes.
Well, I'm on a terrible father run.
All right.
I'm a little upset you didn't bring us any cannolis. I hope that's coming next.
Oh, I hope so.
Well, listen, Doris Roberts,
Thanks.
Peter Boyle, thank you so much for getting up early on our first day of the new show. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Well,
congratulations.
we knew you needed our help. So here we go.
And I hope the show continues as well.
I hope,
There's some talk
I
that
hope
it's
the
not
show
going
continues for you, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know
Good
what?
thought.
As a matter of fact, so do we. Well, of course, you can catch Everybody Loves Raymond tonight at 9, 8 Central, right here on CBS. Now here's Harry.
And talk about small world. Scott Turow is here. Scott, Chicagoan. Your first date with your wife, you went to see who?
Second City and Peter Boyle.
And Peter Boyle was there. Peter, could you hear that? Scott Turow was on his first date. He went to see you at Second City in Chicago.
Did you hear that, Peter? Yes.
It's all your fault.
Back in the 60s, Scott.
Yes.
He was a student at Amherst on his hiatus.
How about, see that? Now, so there are all these connections here this morning. You're a Chicagoan, and I'm a Chicagoan, and on we go. But we're here to talk about this morning, and it's good to see you again after about 10 years, actually.
You too, Harry. Welcome back here.
Brand new book is called Reversible Errors, and it examines the impact that one death penalty can have on many, many lives.
Right.
Lots of things I want to talk to you about first. In real life, who is Alex Hernandez?
Alex Hernandez is a client of mine, a former client now, who was on death row in Illinois for many years before being exonerated.
And not long after that work with that client, you were to join a commission in the state of Illinois to examine the death penalty.
Right.
What was that experience like?
Well, we spent 2 years, this group of 14 people, studying the death penalty in Illinois at the invitation of our governor, George Ryan, and we ultimately recommended a menu of reforms designed to enhance both the accuracy and the fairness of the application of the death penalty in Illinois.
Because the governor put a moratorium on the death penalty.
He did.
Because?
Well, because 13 people, including Alex, had been exonerated, who had been previously sentenced to death, and he thought that was a miserable track record, and I happen to agree with him.
Before your experience with the death penalty, what was your opinion about it?
Well, you know, I'd been a prosecutor federal prosecutor for 8 years, and I really felt that the death penalty was occasionally an ugly necessity.
An ugly necessity. And now, after this experience with Rodriguez, and then especially with the panel in Illinois, have you changed your mind?
I have changed my mind, and it's not that I think the death penalty is immoral or even an unjust punishment in particular cases. I cannot see, though, how we can construct a fair capital system. We've been trying to do this for many, many years in this country, and it never works. The most prominent cases always seem to deserve that punishment, but at the other end you get innocent people or people who simply don't deserve that punishment who also fall into the system.
It can't be executed fairly? I mean, excuse the choice of words.
It may be fair in individual cases, but the results we get as a system are much too costly overall. Certainly nobody wants to execute innocent people.
Which brings us to the book. There's a guy, your main, the defendant in the case.
Correct.
It confesses the crime.
Right.
People are on board, pretty much believe what's gone on.
Right.
And he's days away from execution, and he says, I didn't do it.
Right. Correct. He says he didn't do it, and more to the point, another prisoner in the same institution who's dying steps forward and says, I'm the one who committed the crime. For understandable reasons, the prosecutors are very, very skeptical about that, and that's what sets everything in motion.
Because in real life, if something like that happens, as you write in the book, the prosecutors are they're not really going to take it seriously.
Well, in this case, in this book, it's been 10 years, and all of a sudden, this man is claiming that he's innocent, and somebody else is backing him up, and naturally they suspect that it's a prison conspiracy, and those things do happen.
I have always been a fan of yours, and as I started the book over the weekend, well, listen, I am not alone, believe me. I've got to be thinking, and please accept this as a compliment, that your craft as a writer just really continues to improve. And there's a kind of a passion in here. Just listen to this sentence or two. So this is it, the guy was thinking. He might as well have held up a sign. Larry still saw that look at all the time. He beheld it on Gus's face now, the largest thing in life, death.
Yeah.
And it filled Larry on each occasion with the exacting, breathless emotion of one of those perfect realist paintings you see in a manuscript, in a museum, Hopper or Wyeth.
Right.
It makes you stop, and makes you think about what this character. It's not a pot-boiling sort of a thing that this is lovely writing. It's lovely writing.
Thank you. Look, my goal has always been to tell a good story, and to tell it with craft. You know, that was the vision I had when I started out writing these books, and it still is. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that response.
What people may or may not know is that you still work.
I do, as a lawyer.
As a practicing lawyer. How in the world do you find time to do both?
Well, I haven't practiced full-time since 1989. I picked my cases as a lawyer very judiciously, and I do a lot of public work or pro bono work, as well as work for private clients. And, you know, and the truth is, I work hard. I spend, you know, most of every day up till 10, 11 o'clock at night working.
Well, it is great to see you again.
Harry, thanks.
Congratulations
Great to see you
on the new
too.
book.
Thank you.
Terrific. If you'd like to read an excerpt from Reversible Errors, just log on to the Early Show website at cbsnews.com. Now here's Julie and Hannah.
All right, thanks, Harry. David Evangelista has been working hard with this team at breakneck speed to give one of our viewers a whole new look. Don't turn around. And doesn't the back of her head look good?
It's shiny.
We're going to unveil his latest makeover masterpiece next when the Early Show returns. Stick around.
Turn back. Whoa, there's people up there with the legs. Oh, you're leaning.
Need to store your stuff? Now there's an easier way. Let Public Storage do the work. Decide what you need to store. They'll pick it up and move it into storage for you. Nothing could be more convenient than this. All it takes is one phone call. 1-800-44-STORE. Next time, let Public Storage, America's storage leader, pick it up for you.
I'm happily married with 827 kids. 2 of them my own. So you can imagine the headaches, the kind that start here and move up right between your eyes.
Deal with a bad headache fast. Extra strength Tylenol. Clinically proven fast on even tough headache pain.
On days like this, it's nice to have control over something.
Tylenol. For tough headaches, take comfort in our strength.
I'm John Garamendi. As a father, I know health insurance costs too much, and we're not getting the care we need. I'll work to get all Californians good, affordable health care. I don't take insurance company money, and I don't work for them. I work for you.
You feel sad for the little creamer? That is because you're crazy. Tacky items can easily be replaced with better IKEA.
Every gun leaves a unique signature, and California gun makers may soon be required to keep ballistic fingerprints on file. Could this help police solve more crimes? The loaded debate of privacy versus safety, tonight at 11 on CBS 2 News.
Okay, what's behind curtain number 1? It's time to check up on the king of all makeovers, David Evangelista. We dared him to randomly pick a woman out of the crowd here on the plaza and give her a totally new look in less than an hour. Now here's a look at a before picture of your makeover winner. Okay, we have the before. And are we ready? Drum roll, please. And now, here's what Sandra looks like after. Oh, wait, no, that's
The lady with the background. This is not Sandra. Okay, this is Sandra.
It's a makeover.
You're beautiful.
This is Sandra Cronin. She's 32 years old.
Right, from
She's
Toronto.
from Toronto. She's a pharmaceutical rep, and David
And she's
plucked her out of the
newly
crowd.
pregnant.
Yeah,
Newly pregnant, expecting a baby in March.
Oh, that's great.
She looks great, right?
Congratulations.
All
Yeah,
right,
you
this
look
is quite
great.
in need of a makeover.
What did you do to Sandra?
Actually, I razored her hair, so it was like much lighter around here and kind of made it more wispy. Parveen Klein, the color director, John Merritt, just richened her tone a little bit more, made it a little bit warmer. And Denise Chaplin really warmed up her skin. See, has nice peachy tones in her cheek. She's so pretty.
Did you get her contacts too?
No,
You had glasses.
How
They're
many
right
fingers?
here.
Okay.
And actually, the clothes are Jessie Di La Farina top, Russo pants, and Dominica styled her. Doesn't she look good?
You know, you could have sprung for a coat. It's a little chilly.
Okay, hold on here. You want my coat, baby?
Look
at arms. How about arms?
Now, let me ask you a question. If she's getting ready to have a baby in March, and she's going to be really busy, is she going to be able to do this at home?
The cut she had before, it was really, really solid. This is going to be much easier for her to style. It's much lighter. I razored the ends, like I said, and it just moves more. Shake that head. Shake it like you just don't care. Shake it hard.
Sandra, how do you feel? What do you think of your makeup?
Fantastic. The haircut is so much lighter. It's just fun to play with. It's going to be really good to style every day.
Saying, oh my God, my hair feels so light. It's just walking out of Bergdorf's.
What about the makeup? Is it pretty simple?
Yeah, really all we do is concentrate on her lips. You know what I mean? Really nice fleshy tone on her lips with some gloss. And we just, like I said,
what do you do with her eyes?
We just put a really, really simple, like, neutral brown tone on her eyes and really warmed up her cheeks.
Did they pluck your eyebrows?
A little bit. All right, don't tell anyone. All right, a little bit.
That wasn't painful.
You guys were jerking her around.
Should we see? Your husband has not seen the transformation.
No, he hasn't.
Let's bring him in. Hey, Tim. Tim has kept his back to the camera.
That's right.
Okay, there he is.
Doesn't she look good, your wife?
Looks stunning.
There's going to be another baby coming soon.
Right.
Now, what do you think, Tim?
Oh, she looks fantastic.
Does it look like Sandra?
Yes.
Well, not want her to go back to the glasses?
Without or with them, she looks gorgeous.
Let it out. Let it out. How does she really look?
Nice.
Fantastic.
Good.
Now, Sandra, what are you going to do today? Are you guys here on vacation?
We're on holiday.
Here for work?
We're on holiday.
Excellent.
Yeah, romantic getaway before the kids.
So now at like 9 a.m. you got to go out to dinner. You look great.
I know, you're all gussing up. Let's bring in Renee.
We'll start with lunch.
This is what I thought.
Isn't it? See, this
We had our camera.
Look at it.
This is the way London was changed into.
I know, that's why I said this is not Sandra.
The camera was on you, real tight.
Well done.
That would be a lovely after as well.
That's a makeover.
Sandra, what was it like having all those people fuss over you?
Oh, it was hilarious. These guys are great up there.
Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking, isn't it, Sandra? You look wonderful.
The pressure was on, though.
All right. Well,
we did it.
Good job, David.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, now while you folks at home are getting to know us, we're also getting to know one another. So last week, our boss, Michael Bass, gave us a little homework, and the assignment was to create biographies of each other, and it started out by picking names from fortune cookies. Here's a look.
There's going to be a live interview. Okay, Julie.
She goes right, but why don't you do that?
So no one can eat any of them. Oh, I got a white one. I will be profiling the daily numbers. 0, 6, and 2.
What's your fortune?
Oh, wait, there it is.
Oh, there.
The fortune is you have a quiet and unobtrusive nature.
That is so not true.
I'm very calming. Okay, here's the person I'm profiling. Oh, man, it's Harry.
That is such pressure.
Take 2. I'm picking.
You don't want it? You don't want to profile me?
Mr. Biography? I mean, don't you think that's a lot of pressure, profiling you? I do.
Do you trust me to do an accurate portrayal?
Well, it's going to be like, watching grass grow.
It is not.
I'm not that interesting.
Liar.
All right.
She'll draw it out of you. She'll draw it out of you.
Okay. So I pick one? Mm-hmm. Okay. What if I get you, though?
Well, the nanny.
Can we do each other?
Yes.
I don't.
Well, you got
to go there.
All right, I get to see my face first.
All right, so now, wow, this makes it really
Let's shake them up.
Wow.
Wait, let's do it together.
Wait, where's the? Oh, it's in here. Okay, all right. So
there might be a court of appeals here.
I'm doing Julie too.
Wow. There's so many angles.
Now you have to wait a minute. They all say Julie because mine says Julie.
No, that. Would you pick? I picked myself. Now that's good.
Okay, yeah, we're not doing this right.
All
We're
right,
going
what
to rules
color
of
are you in
engagement on
there?
this.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's just read our fortunes. Oh,
Renee,
look at
take
this
this
fortune,
one.
you guys.
I got Harry.
Take this one.
This fortune says a good time to start something new.
Mark that. Mark that.
I'll keep that. And I'm doing Renee.
Okay. Did you find? Did you?
Wow, how about that? Okay, so all next week you're going to see what we learned, or rather what we uncovered about each other. And all the fun begins tomorrow. We're going to pick on the new kid, Renee Seiler, tomorrow, and we're going to tell you all about it. You're not going to believe it. All right. Hope you liked our very first show. We're going to be back again tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a great day, everybody. Bye. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow on The Early Show, fashion lovers, can you tell the difference between designer and discount? We'll put our anchors to the test. So wake up to what's new on The Early Show.
With freedom under fire, Keith Olberg wrote the law so California kids learn about American democracy. A PhD in constitutional law, Keith Olberg will fight voter fraud and increase voter participation. Keith Olberg, Secretary of State.
Homeowners, thinking about refinancing? Don't go back to square one with another 30-year program. Get ahead of the game. HMS Capital can remove years of payments from your existing mortgage with no application or appraisal fee and nothing added to your loan balance.
I'm Mark Tice, president of HMS Capital. Don't go back to square one with a 30-year home loan. Get ahead in the game and take advantage of our 25, 20, 15, and 10-year refinance programs.
Apply today. HMS Capital is an equal housing lender.
Now, remember, Jesse, this is a business trip. We're going to Vegas. Well, now, remember, Jesse, we're going out there to announce that the first season of CSI is coming to the new TNN. Bob, we're going to Vegas. Well, now, this is a business trip. A business trip.
I called and I saved.
I called and I saved $310.
Call 21st Century for a free quote. We'll beat your current rate, or we'll send you $10.
I saved $300.
Call 21st Century now. You'll get a better rate and a policy with more standard features than any other top 10 California company, or you'll get a check for $10. Either way, you win.
It was worth it to call.
Get more coverage, more service, more savings. Call 21st Century Insurance at 1-800-211-SAVE.
With freedom under fire, Keith Olberg wrote the law so California kids learn about American democracy. A PhD in constitutional law, Keith Olberg will fight voter fraud and increase voter participation. Keith Olberg, Secretary of State.
Good morning, everybody. Taking a live look over downtown. You can see the 10 freeway there. Making a good start this Monday morning. It is 8:55 right now, and here's what's happening around town. A couple of high-profile court cases are expected to move forward today. Opening statements are expected in the case against actress Winona Ryder. She is charged with 3 felony counts in connection with an alleged shoplifting spree at Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills last December. Among the 12 jurors seated, Peter Guber. He's the former Sony Pictures entertainment chief. And in Malibu, actor Nick Nolte is scheduled to be arraigned today on 2 counts resulting from his arrest last month. Nolte faces 1 count of driving under the influence and 1 count of being under the influence of a controlled substance. Both charges are misdemeanors. Nolte probably will not be at today's hearing. He is still in rehab. Now let's go over to Jim Thornton and take a look at your traffic. The 10 was moving, but what about elsewhere?
Right, well, the 10's starting to move a little bit. We've had some problems out there near Alhambra, which have cleared. Suzanne, we'll bring you over here to the 60 this time. It's either one or the other, it seems. Eastbound 60 at the 710. We have the 3 right lanes blocked with a wreck. Just happened a few minutes ago. Should clear pretty soon, but unusual backup there. Westbound 60 looks good once you're west of Hacienda Heights, approaching that usual slowing out of Roland Heights. We have an accident southbound 405 at Magnolia. Another accident for the 405. Heavy backup out of Westminster as they clear the far 2 left lanes at South 405 Magnolia. Here's the 110 northbound. It's an old standard, good for slowing every single morning north of the 105 today, no exception. But no lanes are blocked, so yippee, there's hope after all.
Yippee, I like it. Thanks a lot, Jim.
Okay.
And tomorrow on CBS 2 News this morning, Celebrate with the Champs, your guide to everything Angel, all the public celebrations. And of course, Tony Williams has today's forecast coming up.